Hello friends. A few days ago, I released a preview about a template, basically a web application template built with Vue and Google Apps Script. So if you're interested, I'm taking this video to explain how to build a template like this. Okay, I'm trying my best to explain this to you, and I'm going to do it step by step so you can follow my steps and to create your own project, right? So before we start, I need to explain a little bit about the requirement and some basic knowledge we need to master before we can go ahead. Okay, so just a few slides here. All right, so the first slide here is some requirement we need to know. Okay, so basically some basic knowledge about a web application. Okay, so first, of course, is very important. So you need to understand the web application fundamentals. Okay, basically like the HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So this is the fundamentals of the web application. So you have to know them. Okay, so if you're not very familiar with them, I suggest you go and find some tutorials and to learn these fundamentals. So they're very important, I have to say. And also you need to understand the backend and front end. So basically they're also very important. Some concept, okay. And the second point here is the web application with Google Apps Script. So basically this is a platform Google provided us. Okay, so basically this platform is like it's like a microservice. Okay, so we can host our application with this service. Okay, we can build a full functional web application with this service, but there is some limitations here. Okay, so limitations here is on this platform you only have two file types. So you can only have two file types, which are the script type. So basically we have a .gs file, which is Google script file, and another one is a .html file. Basically that is the HTML file. So on this platform we only support two file types. But as you can see here, for the web application fundamentals, we have HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So basically, you cannot have a file have extension like .js, CSS, and put the file on your Google Apps Script platform. So that's why we need to convert the CSS and the JavaScript to a file with a file extension .html. Okay, so that's why I list the second item here. So you need to know the basics about this platform, okay, to build a web application. And the third one is a library or it's a framework. It's a front end framework to build the UIs, all of this kind of stuff. So it's a very good framework to use. Okay, so you can choose other frameworks, of course, but in this template or in this project, I use Vue. Okay, so the last one is Node. Okay, so basically this is a package manager. So we're going to use it to manage all of the packages we're going to use. All right, so this is the fundamentals we need to know. And the next slide and the last slide, right, is some tools we're going to use to build our project. Right, the first one is Vue CLI. Okay, so basically we're going to use this Vue command to build our template, to build our Vue template. Okay, and the second one is the Clasp. So basically this is a tool Google provided us to manage the app script locally. Okay, so we can use this tool. We can develop our project locally, and then we're going to use this tool to push our code to your Google Drive. All right, so this is a very good tool if you are trying to build a larger project on your computer. So you need to use this tool. This third one here is is Node or Npm is a Node package manager. So basically, is we're going to use this to install or manage your packages. Okay. So the last one is the editor, is VS Code. So I use this code editor to write some code. Okay. So you can use other code editors. It doesn't matter. So I suggest you to use it, but it's a very good tool to use. So I already have some links here. So make sure you have all of these tools are installed on your computer. All right. So if you have all of these tools installed on your computer, and we can start to build our project, right? So here in VS Code, I'm in VS Code. Okay. So you need to open your project folder. So here I already have a project folder, which is my Google Apps Script project. And since this is a Git repository, so I'm on this branch. So this is the video index. Okay, is a GAS-081. So I'm right now currently in this empty folder, and I'm on this branch. So basically, on your computer, you only need to choose. You need to create a folder for your project. So that will be fine. So now we should have a Node installed. So if you check your Node version, you have the Node and you have the npm. Okay, and you should have the Vue also installed. So I'm not going to explain how to install them, but you should be able to find a tutorial to how to install them if you don't know how to install all of this. Okay, so make sure these commands are working on your computer. All right, so first of all, for Vue, okay, I'm on this Vue CLI documentation here. So we're using Vue2. Okay, we are using Vue2 version 2 to build this project. I tried to use Vue3, but I don't know, for some reason that we cannot use it. I don't know why, but maybe in the future we can upgrade our code. So for now we are using Vue2. That means we're going to use this command, okay, to create our project. So if you cannot use Vue init, I think this init is initialized. So if you cannot use this command, make sure you install this. Okay, use this command to install this Vue CLI init. Okay, so we are using Vue init and Webpack, and this is your project name. All right. So the first step we need to do is we need to Vue init Webpack. So and your project name. So project name. So since I already have a project folder here, I'm not going to add a name here. So I add a dot here. So so that means we're going to create the project in this folder. Okay, in this directory. So I put a dot here and press enter. We should be able to go. So if you can see this, that means this you have no issue. So if you cannot use this command here, that means you need to have this installed. All right. So generate project in current folder, yes. That's why we have a dot here. This downloading template, okay. The project name. So by default, the project name came from the folder name here, as you can see. So I'd like to change it to GAS-081. So this is the video index. And this is the project description. So I'm going to rename it to Vue GAS web app template. So the author. So the Vue build, I'm going to choose this one, runtime compiler. So install Vue router. So in your project, if you're trying to use a router, that means you're going to have to navigate from pages to pages. So if you have multiple pages in your application, you can choose this. You can choose yes. But for this demo, I'm going to build one single page, so I'm not going to use it. I'm choose no. Yes, lint no. Unit test no, so I'm no test. Right, so here, because I choose npm as the package manager, so you also can use yarn. So it doesn't matter. So if you prefer to use yarn, you can use yarn. Okay. So let's try to use npm. So now, as you can see, we are using this command tool to build all of these templates. Okay, so download all the templates, and right now is trying to install all the dependencies. So basically, all the packages we are going to use. It's just downloading all of this data. It's going to take a while to download all the data. So we'll be back once we finish all of this installation. Okay. Okay, so finally I have all the packages or the dependencies installed on my computer for this project. So finally, as you can see, if you see this message and with no errors, that means we're good to go. Okay, so basically you should have a new folder called the node modules. Okay, so basically all the packages I'm going to use are here. So you don't need to worry about this, but because this is all managed by the node. Okay, so right now you can run this command here. So npm run dev. So this is going to run our development server, and going to so compile all of these files, and you should be able to see the application in a minute. All right, so now, so your application is running here. So this is the URL here to your application. So as you can see here, so this is the template Vue provided us. So basically simple like this. So let me show you how you can do some stuff here. So basically here, the folders, the directories here. So all of our code are put in here in this source folder, so src. So if you need to do some change for your front end, you need to do it here. Okay, so maybe let me change something like let's try to change this welcome to your Vue.js.app. So let's try to change this. So basically this is all. So all of this change should belong to the Vue. Okay, so basically you need to master the Vue.js library, and you can do it very quickly here. All right, so let's just give you a very quick demo here. To change it, I have this component here called hello world. I just need to change this message here. Okay, as you can see, welcome to your Vue.js app. So let's try to add it to GAS Vue GAS web app template. So after I save it, if you can see here, so you can see the change. So I think I will do this to give you a demo. So this is all about Vue, so I'm not going to explain this in this project. So I think you can find a lot of Vue tutorials on YouTube. So I think that's another thing. So if you don't know Vue, that's a problem, I have to say. So basically this is our front end project. All right, so it's built with Vue.js, and you can build a lot of stuff and all of this complicated stuff, so you can do here in this source folder. And the problem here is how can we connect this? How can we push all of this code to our app script project? How can we do that? So that's the problem right now. So as you can see, we don't have any connection between the app script and our local project. Okay, so no connection right now. So the next step I'm going to show you Okay, I'm going to show you how to connect our local project and to our app script project. So that's another stuff I need to do. So first of all, I need to build our web app script project on our Google Drive. Okay, so let me terminate this application. So we have basically we have two ways to create the project. Okay, so the first way, I think, is a very simple way. You can create the project here on your Google Drive. Okay, so you can create a file called app script. Okay, or you can create a Google Sheet. Basically, app script project can be bounded to this spreadsheet. Okay, so in this example, I'm going to create a standalone Google App Script project. Okay, but I'm not going to create it manually here in this drive. But also you can do it. I'd like to show you a new way to do it with a tool called Clasp. Okay, so this tool is provided by Google. So this is the GitHub repository you can find. You can read this documentation here. It explains this a lot. So you can how to install them and how to use the command you can use. Okay, so basically all of this stuff. So to use this, I assume you already installed this tool on your computer. So the command is the clasp. Okay, start with clasp, and make sure you're logged in. Okay, so login status. So make sure you're logged in with clasp. Okay, so if you're not, you enter this command, you should see some error message. Okay, I don't know why it's so long. It's checking my login status. All right. Okay, so as you can see, if you see this message, that means you should be able to use it right now. Okay. So let's try to create a project first. To create a project, you use this class create command. If you don't know how to use it, you just put a -- help. It will show you how to use it, but you also can check the instructions here on this website, on this GitHub repository. I think I show you how to create a new file, a new project. Okay, so here is this create command here. Okay, you have a lot of options you can do. First of all, let's try to create the project. So I'm going to create, give it a title of GAS-081. So this is a file name, okay, file name of your project, and give it type. So for the type, you can choose a document, a spreadsheet, presentation. So I'm going to use this standalone, okay, and I'm going to add a root directory. So for the root directory, I'm going to call it GAS. If you don't provide a root directory here, basically the project will be created under this directory. Okay. So let's try to enter. And if everything goes well, I should have a new project created on my Google Drive with name GAS-081 on my Google Drive. All right, let's check my Google Drive very quickly. Okay, so as you can see here, the file is already created. If you click this link, it should bring you to the file. And yes, this is a file created on my Google Drive. Okay, so this is a new file, which is already created. Okay, so, and another thing you need to see is here. We now have a folder called GAS. That's why I use this root directory, which is GAS, because I'm going to manage all of my Google Apps Script project here in this folder. Okay, here is the source folder for your front end, and here is a folder for our app script project, right? So we need to build a connection between the source folder to this gas. Okay, so this is what we're trying to do. So I'm trying to explain this step by step so you can get a full picture of the project and you can do something with it if you don't like my way, okay? And right now we have our project created, okay? But here we have no files. We only have one file. Here is basically this app script. This is the must-have files for the app script project, okay? And also another file here is under this root directory, which is called .clasp.json, okay? So this file is also a file which is used by this clasp, okay? Basically here you have the script ID. So basically this is the script ID as you can see here. This is a file link. The ID is in this link, okay? So this is the ID of your file. And this is root directory. So basically this is root directory. So this file basically is just a configuration file. So every time you try to run the clasp, okay, so right now we can, so if I add a file here in this gas folder, so let's create an index file. So touch gas. So let's put index.html file in this folder. All right. So I can, if I can open the project, use this command clasp open. Okay, so it should open. Okay, the browser here. So this is the file, the project. So right now we don't have any files, I think, in this project. Okay, so right now we have no files in this project. As you can see, no files here. And on my local computer, I just created an index file in this folder. As you can see, it's called index.html. And I can put something here. So maybe template here. And if I use command clasp push, that means I'm going to push my local script here, which is created in this folder, okay, in this gas folder. I'm going to push this index file to our project. So right now there is no file here. So if I push this file successfully, I should see the file which is created locally, and so it's pushing the files to our script project. As you can see here, we push 2 files to the project. So this is the by default, this is must-have file, and this is the index file. So if I try to refresh this project, I should see the file. Okay, I should see the index file here. Okay, so this is why we need to use this tool, this clasp tool, if we are trying to build our project locally. Okay, so basically we don't need to write our code here in this editor online. So we can do our code stuff here locally, and we're going to use this tool to push our change to the online project. Okay, so this is just a very quick demo to show you how to push your local code to the app script project online. Okay, so let's clear this. So right now we still have a problem. Okay, we have our front end code here, and we have our app script project here. We don't have any connection between them, so we need to build this. All right. So before we build this connection, we need to do something else first. First, we need to build because we cannot push all of this Vue stuff to our online project, because this .vue file is not compatible, is not supported on our online project. So we need to compile all of these files. Okay, so to use this, we need to use a command here. All right, as you can see here, we need to build, for production, we need to build, to run this command, npm run build. So if we're going to build a new folder here, so let me show you, npm run build. So we should have a new folder called dist, I think. Right now there is no new folder here, so it's still building. Alright, so the build is done here. As you can see here, we have a new folder called dist. So in this dist folder, we have some static files. So this is the files we're going to use. We're going to push all of these files to our app script project, okay? So we have the index HTML file, we have the JavaScript file, and we have the style for the style sheet here, okay, the CSS file. All right, if you check this JS file, you have all the code. I cannot see it. As you can see, so these files are minimized. So basically, it's optimized from this source folder. Okay, so this is the files we're going to use. But right now, we still have no connection between the GAS, so this our app script project, and this folder, this dist folder. So we need to build a connection, okay, from these two folders. All right. So here I like to use a script to do that. So which I already created a script there, I think. So let's try to go to my GitHub repository. So let me grab the file and let me show you what I'm doing here. So basically, this is my the project for the preview. Okay, so this is the not this one. Sorry, not this one. I think this one, the Vue.js GAS template. Okay. So here I have a file called gas.js. So I need to grab all of this code and okay, so I need to create a new file in this folder and name it gas.js and paste the code here. So basically, the function of this file is basically to build the connection between this between the file which is in this dist folder and put the connection to this gas folder. Okay, so right now in this gas folder we have nothing there. All right, so let's try to run this gas function. So maybe let's try to run npm run gas. So if I try to run this function, okay, missing script gas, not npm. So I should use node gas. Okay, I use the wrong command. So I need to use node.gas to run this script. So basically, so if you check this folder now, in this gas folder, I have a new folder called Vue. Okay, so all of this code, which is Vue, which comes from this source folder, actually is from this destination folder. Okay, from this static folder, I have the JavaScript and CSS, and I'm going to convert it to our HTML file. Okay, so as I said at the beginning, for the app script project, we only support this the file name .html and file name and with .js. Okay, so actually I only, as you can see, I add a script tag for the JS file and add a style tag for the CSS file. Okay, basically, so the code here are from this static folder, the code between these tags. Okay, so this is if you read the code here, this is the function of this code. Basically, just copy the source code from the static folder and then put a tag for different files. So basically, for the JS, for the JavaScript, we're going to put a script tag, and for the CSS file, I'm going to put a style tag. All right. So this is how we build the file for our app script project. Okay. So every time we made some change to our front end project here in this source code, we need to rebuild our code. Okay. So then that means we need to rebuild these files as well, because if you do some change here, the source code, the code here, the static file will also be changed, and you also need to update all of this file in here. All right. So let's try to build a script to do that. So every time, as you can see, we can run this build, and also we can add a new script called GAS, I think. Let's try to run this code here, run this gas.js, so node.gas.js. This is what I just do here, so I try to run, even though I know node.gas, I run this. So this is going to build the files for our app script project. So I basically add a command here. So right now we can run npm run gas. Okay, I'm using script. I think I need to save it. Let me try to npm run gas. Okay, so now it's working. And I'd like to build another one, so I need to name another command here, a script here to. So basically, I'm build for gas. So I'm going to combine these two commands, and I think I can use npm run build and npm run gas. So basically, I'm going to run this build function first, and then I'm going to run this npm run gas. So basically, combine these two commands in one single command. So now, every time I try to run npm run build gas, so the first I'm going to run this build function here. As you can see, I'm running the code here to build our project. And after the build, I'm going to run this function to build our files in our app script project, which is in this Vue folder. Okay. And after this, we should push our files, okay, in our guest folder to our online project. So class push. So now all the files in this Vue folder should be pushed to our online project. So if you check this file right now, so it's done. As you can see, the push is not done. Okay, I have some connection issue with it's offline. All right, so let's try to push it again. So if everything goes well, I should see all of the Vue files here, right, for the project. Try to pushing. Okay, as you can see, have the index, and all of the Vue files are also pushed to our online project. And if I try to refresh our project here, as you can see, I have this index and I have the Vue file for the style, for the CSS, and for the JavaScript, and for the vendor. So I have several JavaScript. I have one JavaScript file, two, three. I have three JavaScript file and one CSS file. Okay, so okay, this is a mess. So that's a reason why we cannot use the online tool to build the project. So because they are so something like this. This is okay, not human readable, I have to say. So if you're trying to do some modification or changes in this file, it's going to be a hell. Okay, so that's why we are trying to use the local developed environment. So basically, we separate our development. Basically, the source file, the code are human readable and very easy to management. And with these tools, we're going to build this version, this source code, and build it to something like this. Okay, something like since these files are minimized, something, yes, something like this. And with this gas.js file, I'm going to add a text to all of these files and put them to this Vue folder under our project. And finally, we're going to use class push to push our local file to online project. So this is almost the whole process of how we handle project like this on your local computer. And this is why I need to explain this. This could be a very long video. So why I need to explain this, all the process to you, so you can understand how I am doing here and how you can do some change in your code and you can build your own project like this. Okay, so we are almost finished here. And one final thing we need to do, right now we have all the Vue files here, and we need to build our own so backend stuff. Okay, so basically we need to build. So let's try to create a file here. Let's try to. So basically, we have an index file, and we need to have a JS file for the backend stuff. Okay, so in this GAS folder, I'm going to create a file which is called main.js, I think, or you can call it backend.js. Let's call it backend.js. Okay. So I'm created a backend.js file here. So you can use the JS file here in your local computer. But if you try to push this file to your online project, this .js will be converted to .js, okay, .google script. So this is converted automatically by Clasp, okay. So this is why we have to use this tool, or you have to copy the code manually, okay. If you try every time you do a change here, you need to copy the code and go to your online project and override them. So I should have a backend.js file. Okay, so now we have our backend file and now have our front end file, and we should be able to build our project very quickly. Okay, we just need to connect all of these files and we should build our application very easily. So let's try to add some code to the backend.js file. So you can add the code here directly. You also can add the code in your local computer and push it back to the online project. Okay, so you can do it here or here. So it depends on you. So right now I'd like to do it here. So the first function I need to do, I need to have do get function. Okay, so this is a must-have function to build a web application. All right, so I'm going to return. Actually, I'm going to not waste the time. Okay, I'm going to copy the code from my template here. So I will show you what I'm doing here. So in my GAS folder, I should have main.js because I renamed it to backend. So let's try to copy this files here. Maybe we can do it here. So basically, I'm going to get rid of some stuff to simplify it a little bit. This function, I'm going to use it, so I'm going to keep it. This one, I'm going to delete it. And we need to have, as I said, we need to have a do-get function. Okay, this is a must-have function. And this is stuff I need to use. Here, so this is your application name we can do. So let's try to rename it GAS-081 and Vue GAS web app template. Okay, so because this name I'm going to use it, so this is the backend stuff you need to do. And another thing I need to use is the index.html. Okay, so this file, very short file. Let's copy the code here and put it here and replace all of the code here. So as you can see here, this is the connection. Okay, so basically you're going to connect your CS file, okay, from this folder, Vue app.js. As you can see here, this Vue app CSS, and this is the JavaScript file we need to connect. Okay, the manifest.js, vendor.js, and the app.js, which is in app.js, manifest, and the vendor. Okay, so this is the connection we're trying to build. So I prepared this index file and the backend stuff, and we should be able to use it right now. So let's try to push the file to our online project. Okay, our online project. Let's try to reload. So basically, this is the basic structure of your application. I'd like to show you the steps. Okay, so how you can build it your own. Okay, no code here. Let's try to refresh it again. Now, as you can see, I can have the code here, and I have the file, the connection. So this is connected to this Vue manifest.js, which is Vue manifest.js. Is this file. Basically, we connect all of this file into this index file. Okay, so this index file is the front end, and this backend JS is your .js is your backend stuff. Okay, so if you need to do some backend stuff, you need to write data to your spreadsheet, you need to do here. All right, so let's try to deploy this as a web application, and we should be able to see our application. Okay, so let's try to select web application. So let's try to do initial deploy. Okay, anyone can see it. Let's try to deploy it. Okay, so this is the web application URL. All right, so let's hope everything goes well. So here, as you can see, this is the application name you defined here. Okay, in this backend JS file, this is the app name, which is the title of the application. And as you can see, we have this Vue application running on your Google Apps Script project online, as you can see. So this is the change I did, right, in the source code. So this is something you can do, right? So I think the final stuff I'd like to show you is to build a very simple form so we can submit some data from the front end to back end, so you can see how I can do it very quickly. Okay, so let's try to build the front end first. I'm going to replace this this hello world application here. I'm going to use a form here. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this, all of this code. So I'm going to build a form here. I have a form here. What I can do here is, let's try to change this message template. I'll keep it here. So let's try to build a form, and I like to have let's try to add a form data. Okay, so for this form, I'm going to have user. I'm going to have a value of new empty value, and we have a label for this username, and let's try to do something else like email. So the value of the email will be empty, and give it a label of email. So I only added 2 items for this form. Okay, so the first one will be, let's say this will be a label. So this will be form data dot label, not label username or user. So user dot label. Okay. So here I can run this command to see the local application. Okay, so you will see what you are doing here at the front end. Okay, so right now, as you can see, you have a user label here, right? And then we can have an input here, which will be text, and the model. So if you don't understand this, I suggest you to take some Vue.js course or videos. So on YouTube, you can find a lot of stuff like this. So this is the value. I need to combine this value. We need to bind this value to this input. Okay, let me check. So I now have an input box like this. And I can copy this. This is the email. I need to replace this email, and this should be an email. And in this form, as you can see, I have the user name and the email. Okay, if you can put a line break here, so we can see them in. Okay, I prefer to keep them on one line. So now I have our front end built successfully. We have 2 fields in this form, as you can see. So how can we get the data from the front end? So we can put a method here. Methods. Let's define the submit function here. So I think our method is submit is a function like this. let's console.log. Let's log the values, okay? First, log this.formData.email. Let's just directly console log this form data, okay? And I need to combine this function to this form add submit. So basically, every time prevent. So if I try to submit this form, we should trigger this function, okay? And we should be able to see the data in this form data. Okay, so let's try to do it right now. So let's open the console. Console. Okay, so let's try to add my name here. Email. And submit. What's wrong? I need a submit button. I don't know. So let's add a button here. Type add submit. Submit is not defined in this. Alright, let's try to see what's going on here. I may did something wrong. Okay, so this is methods. Alright, let's try to submit. Okay, it's working now. So if I try to put a name here and my email here and submit, as you can see, I have this object and the value is grabbed from this field. So this is the email and this is the username. All right, so I get the data from the front end. And right now we need to push this data to the back end. So how can we do that? Yes, we can do it. Let's do to do. Let's try to get the data. So the constant data equal be this name. So let's try to. So let's say we have an array. Okay. So from data.user.value and this.formData.email.value. So the data will be an array. Okay, the first element is the user value and the second one is the email. Okay, so we can push the data from the front end to back end. So we do it like this. So basically google.script run. So here we have a function to add the data to the backend. The function is not created yet, so we try to create this function like create user and pass the data here. All right, so we have a username and email and to create this new user. Okay, so so this function should be defined in this backend file. Okay, so let's go to the backend JS, and we should have a function here called create user, which take data, which is from the front end. Okay, so here you can store your user in a spreadsheet or somewhere else. All right, so this is the function create user. So let's try to create a spreadsheet. So here I'd like to create a database. Create a spreadsheet as a database for your application. So let's say I have a database on your Google Drive, and let's try to rename it as the database. Okay. as for GAS. So this is the database. So this is for our user, and we should have username, and email. I'm going to save this the information from the front end to backend. Okay, so the backend is this spreadsheet. So I'm going to grab this file URL and go to the backend file. So I'm going to define the property here called database ID. Okay, it will be this file. So this is the ID. So what we can do here, so let's try to push the files to the online server. So let's try to class push. So basically, as you can see from the, sorry, you cannot push it right now. Because we did some change in our front end, we need to build the project. So we need to run this npm run build gas and class push. So if you don't remember the command here, you should, if you go to the package.json file, you should be able to see this command here, build gas. Build-gas. Okay, so this is going to build the project and run this gas.js file. Okay, and after we complete this, we need to push the files to our online project. So let me So if I pushed all of this stuff to our online project, I should be able to see it here. So it's building down here and pushing the data. So right now I think it's pushing. Let's try to say yes. I should not say yes, I think, because this manifest file, I think this file is not correct, but I will fix later. So if I try to refresh my project, I should see the change I've done in this backend. I have this function to create the user, and I have the reference to this spreadsheet ID here. Okay, so right now we can do this stuff here. So this data is an array, if you remember. So the data will be user and the email, right? Like this. So we can connect this database. So let's do a const spreadsheet. Go to spreadsheet app dot, I think it's open by ID. So the ID will be settings dot database ID. So this right now we have built the connection to the database, and we should get the table. So the user table. So the user table is the worksheet.getSheet by name, not worksheet, spreadsheet, getSheet by name. The name will be user. Okay, so this user is defined here. All right, so now we have this. And what we can do here, we can user dot append row, which is this data, okay? Because this data is an array, is a user and the email array, and in our database, as you can see, the structure is a username and the email. Okay, basically we could append a new row to this spreadsheet. Okay, and then we can return we can return nothing right now. So, but you can return because maybe every time you create a new record, you need to create a new ID for your user. So you can return an ID or something like that. Okay, so right here now, I'm not going to do anything here. So if you return something here, and at your front end, you should be able to receive the result you return here. Okay, let's try to do it. Anyway, so I'd like to return the user. Let's say the user. The user will be data1. Okay, data0, and the email will be data1. And let's put a fake ID here. Let's say ID 100. So I'm going to return this data to the front end. Okay. So let's try to do another deployment because I override the, as you can see, override the manifest file. If you remember, this file is overridden by this setting, so this is not correct. So let me show you initial deploy. I need to deploy it again. So this time, since I use a spreadsheet API, so I need to complete this authorization process because we are trying to fetch data from a spreadsheet. He's not fetching data. I think he's write some data to the spreadsheet, and also, okay, this is a long video, I have to say. Allow the access. Okay, so now I have deployed successfully. And if I try to open this file, the application, I should see the form here. So before we check the form, I need to do another command here. So to make sure this configuration is correct, so I need to run this clasp pool. So basically, this pool function is going to pull the data from the online project and override this file here. Okay. Is the form working? So now I have the form here. And let's try to submit something here. Not my email. So let's try to submit. I should not see any response here because I didn't do any feedback at the front end. If I check my front end, oh, sorry, not front end, the back end, as you can see, you see the data here. That means that we have successfully built the connection between the front end and the back end, right? And as you can see here, after I do this this pull command, I have a new settings here, new configurations for our project, because this is a web application, so the configuration is a little bit different. And also, if you need to set a different time zoom, you need to update here as well. Okay. So I think I can stop here. So basically, I almost take I don't know how long I've taken in this video. Basically, I tried to explain this step by step so you can get the whole process and the whole idea and how we can build a project like this locally, okay, with Vue.js and our free tool with AppScript. So this is a much better way to manage a project like this. Right, I hope you can learn something from this long video, and hope you can enjoy it. Okay, so I'll see you next time. Bye bye.